the industry is driven by streamers, and there is money to be made in theatrical. It remains there. However, paydays, salaries, cash, status, all that is driven.
Okay, sorry.
by
Explain one more
streamers.
time. Why does a streamer? Why can't you? Why doesn't a creative like you? You've had shows on streamers.
Yeah.
How come a creative? Why aren't you incentivized to do excellent work on a streamer?
Okay,
Doesn't
so
it-
the model here is, let's say that I'm going to spend $20 million on a show.
okay.
Netflix says, so we love this. We're going to spend, it's 20 million. Here's the budget. They build the budget. You work with the service studio. If it's animation, you have your partners, everybody who's going to be involved. So the whole team comes together. You built the budget. They say, we approve this budget. You're going to spend 20 million. You at that moment have also negotiated your profit, where they say, and we'll let you take 10% profit.
Okay.
$2 million. So $2 million can be distributed across all producers, all lead creatives, and that is fixed.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's there. That's before the show's made.
yeah,
You don't know what's going to go right or wrong.
no,
Or, yeah.
it's fixed. It's baked in. So if you do a really, 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 really good job, what do you get?
Yeah, it's fixed. You said. So
You
I
get
assume
another
you-
season order, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
They order another show, maybe, and you get another baked in fixed amount of profit.
But what you're saying, I guess what I assumed would happen is kids love your show so much they watch it more and more, so you make more money. But you're saying that
Doesn't
connection,
happen.
that's broken.
Yeah, that's gone.
That's
That used to be the case. So the guy who came up with Thomas the Tank Engine has a private island, and
But Hello Ninja, for example,
they ordered their 4 seasons. We made the 4 seasons. The profit was capped, and then we had the
and it was a hit show, most
Yeah.
binged.
big hit show,
I can't
millions and
remember what you
millions
said
and
it beat,
millions of
but-
people globally.
Yeah, I can't remember. It came in above a number of movies you've heard of.
Yeah, so at the time, Disney Plus was rolling out Mandalorian. We were beating Mandalorian. We were beating.
But you're
trying
saying-
to remember other ones on the list. There
You're
was
disincentivized to achieve
yeah,
above that.
yeah, and
or-
so
or even if
when
you've been under that.
we went back in, and when we moved from one step to the next on an episode, and then thought this isn't working, this is a little wobbly, and every time we reworked stuff, we're eating into our profit.
Oh, while you're making Hello Ninja.
Yeah.
Every
Every
say-
time we're like, this doesn't look great. We need to do a better job on these trees.
Okay, I was going to ask about backgrounds, right? Because I
Yeah.
assume background's one of the most places you save a ton of money because you don't want to draw every single background.
No, and it's obviously this is all CG, and
Right.
So there's,
But if you wanted to say make the backgrounds look real,
or just even make
or-
the backgrounds look better.
yeah, that's
This isn't compelling. We need to do
that
something.
only
better.
hurts what you're doing.
Yeah, it hurts the producers. They have to say, hey, we need to make this even better in a way that's just artistically more enjoyable to watch. That's going to diminish our profit. Greatness, like really, really extreme greatness on a streamer, any streamer, is not going to then earn you an increased stream of revenue on that product. It might earn you increased status in the industry. It might earn you the ability to
You mentioned
negotiate.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, you could.
Them doing however many seasons it is now, 5.
I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Then they're getting paid better, more each step of the way.
Right.
But one of the things that's funny there is you're just renegotiating with leverage from the last one because they have their membership. I told you that when you make stuff for a streamer, you're making cheese cubes for a Delta Sky Club. And they are serving it to their members as a benefit. But they're not
Members are not buying.
They're not buying the cheese cubes.
Right.
They're buying access to the clam chowder and the cheese cubes and the crackers. They're buying access to all this.
Man, you can just see how it would be so tempting to get not the best cheese
Right? And so why
on the funds level.
why does streaming content
yeah?
just cause these things to dip? And then what effect does that have on the rest of the industry? Why does the CG look so terrible in Gladiator 2? That was theatrical. It's like, well,
They know what people are
industry
watching.
standards start to change.
Oof.
So the whole thing starts to change. Everything kind of like shifts. And
This is a real tragedy you're describing here.
yeah, all of this is capitalism functioning.
Yeah.
So somebody figures out, hey, if I have subscribers, then my bottom line's better, and I actually have a more stable income, and everything's like I'm a lot more powerful, and this is a better business model. A better business model for whom and for what?
Yeah.
For the art? No, absolutely no.
For lots of cheese cubes, I think is the answer.
It's a better business model for a business to
but-
have higher level of profitability, more stable profit. Yes, but if the goal is art, then no, it is not a better business model.